So I decided to spend 30 days training my handstand as hard as I could to see if I could achieve the fabled one-arm handstand, and this is what happened. Alright everybody, welcome to the 30-day handstand challenge transformation video. So for the past 30 days, I've been training my handstands almost every day, trying to get them to be as good as they possibly can. Alright, so throwing it back to day number 1, I actually filmed this video and I put it out on the channel. So the link to the entire video will be in the description if you want to see the full breakdown. But I basically just wanted to see exactly where my handstands were at the moment. It had been a while since I actually trained them and they were feeling a little shaky. So this is what I was able to do. I had my current handstand hold at like just under 30 seconds, about 27 seconds. I couldn't even reach 30 seconds, and that was 15 seconds short of my max of like 41 seconds. So definitely not the best starting point for me, but it was a good time to start the challenge. So that was my best handstand hold. The second thing I wanted to see improvement on was my shapes. So I like to make a lot of these shapes while I'm in a handstand, do different variations, do straddle, lotus, do a figure 4 with each leg, stuff like that. Even a split, which is brand new to me. I'd never tried it before today. So that is what I was working on. I wanted to get a baseline down. So as you can see in this first video, I can't even go through all 4 of my shape variations that I want to, which is the straddle, lotus, and both figure 4s. I basically just fall over every time, and that was my starting point. And then goal number 3, the third goal that I really wanted to get this handstand transformation, was to work on the one-arm handstand. This is the stuff that you only see in like legendary content. Like there's only a select few people that can actually hold one-arm handstands. It is, in my opinion, one of the hardest physical achievements that you can make. It really shows that like you have complete control of your body and like balance. So that was the third goal of this challenge, was to work on my one-arm handstand. So here you can see my first attempt at it. I can't even hold it for like half a second, just like fall down immediately. So this is our starting point, guys. This is how we started the 30-day handstand challenge. Now, just a quick disclaimer here, I didn't actually end up practicing every single day for 30 days. That was the original intended purpose, but because of school ending and holidays and all that kind of stuff, I just ended up practicing maybe half that amount of time, maybe a little bit less. The goal here was to practice 10 minutes for every single day for 30 days. And I'd say I probably have about 14 like videos worth of footage, which means like 14 days. So we only practice about half the time, but I still really want to put this video out because I did make the challenge public and I just wanted to see what I could do before the year was up anyway. So today is December 26th, actually my birthday, and this is what we can do. So basically the challenge started like this. I would just train literally anywhere I could. So I trained at home all the time. I even trained at school multiple times, and I trained at work. It was just like this whole array of wherever I could do handstands, wherever I had like 10 minutes to work, that's what I was gonna do where I was. So let's look at the progression a little bit. So it actually started out pretty well. I actually worked my way up through 30 seconds and broke 30 seconds back to the original record that I had of 41 seconds on my first day of doing it. Well, not actually the first day. This was the first day after recording the challenge, so like day number 2. I was able to hold it for about 40 seconds, and this was really exciting for me. I finally like got it all the way back up. It only took like a day or 2 of just like kind of re-coordinating myself. Like I said, it had been a long time since I trained handstands, so this was really nice to see. And from there, we just kept practicing. So very similar, just trying to hold my handstand as long as we could. This was gonna be the first goal to tackle this 30-day challenge, was just get my time up before I work on variations, before I really work on one-arm handstand. Like I would still do a little bit of that kind of work in between sessions, but my main focus right now was to get my handstand up past 30 seconds, past 40 seconds. I really wanted to break a minute. So I would do this every single day. This is at my school gym. I would do it at home. I would do it at my gymnastics center, just anywhere I could practice. Gradually, we started getting a little bit better each time, kind of increasing my times just a few seconds each day. And I got up to about 50 seconds here, so I was really excited about that. While I was working on this, I was simultaneously training my one-arm handstands just at the end of my session. So essentially, I would spend like the first 7 or 8 minutes of my handstand training just working on like stamina, just trying to hold that handstand as long as I could, as many times as possible, like within that allotted time frame. Then towards the end, I would say the last few minutes of solely one-arm handstand training, and I'm not sure if this was the best way to go about it, to be honest. I don't know. I don't do a ton of handstand training stuff. I feel like it could have been better to work one-arm handstands first so I had more energy, but this is just how I did it for the purpose, because my primary focus, like I said, was increasing my time of just holding a regular handstand. So I do regular handstand training, and then I would work my one arm for the last few minutes. And it was really shaky, like a really bad. Again, I was barely being able to hold it. And you know, I did watch a bunch of videos on one-arm handstand training and what to do to get better at them. So I did find a couple strategies to help. The first one was that I kind of need to use the wall as a support system, because it's easier to progress using something like that. And this is similar to how I progressed my original handstand. Way back last year, I made a 20-day handstand transformation video when I went from like 8 seconds all the way up to 41 seconds. And this is definitely a tool that I found helpful, was using the wall. So that's what I started doing. It was just kind of doing some one-arm handstand training against the wall, using my feet to just push off a little bit at a time, and that kind of helped. The other thing that I figured out how to do is use my fingertips. So a bunch of the videos that I watched basically said, don't rush into it. Try to progress using less and less of your hand each time, as opposed to just jumping onto one arm. So right here, that's exactly what I started doing. I started, instead of just taking that arm away and trying to hold it, I started just trying to get up on my fingertips, trying to shift, and then hold it just using the tips of my fingers, and then maybe take my hand away if I felt good enough. That's the other thing I want to talk about for one arm too, is that I really need to figure out how to tilt my lower body instead of twist. Because if you watch my first video, you can see I'm definitely doing a lot more twisting than I am tilting. It took me a few attempts to actually get comfortable with like tilting my lower body, you know, because I have my legs in a straddle. So my idea was to just use my legs in a straddle and lift up one arm and just rotate myself like a clock, basically. It's really good in theory, but it's definitely difficult to do in practice. So that's kind of where my head was at with this. And again, using the wall really helped, because I was able to stay stationary and then get a feel for how my hips should be like moving. So I was getting a lot more lateral flexion rather than rotation, which is what you want, because if you're twisting, it's gonna throw you way off. And then day number 9, so I know it's only like a third of the 30-day challenge, but day number 9 of me actually training, so we're like 3/4 there already. And this was the first day that I actually hit 60 seconds on the handstand. In my entire life, I've never been able to hold a handstand for an entire minute before. This was like 60 seconds almost on the freaking dot. This was while I was studying for my lab practical in the basement of a classroom. So I was just like so freaking excited about this. This was definitely one of the best moments of my year so far in terms of calisthenics training. 60-second handstand has been a huge goal of mine like my entire life. So I'm really happy to be able to do that. And after I hit this, I would still train it because I still want to like, you know, make progress. I didn't really make any more progress past 60 seconds, but I did hit it a few more times, and it was really nice to be able to say that I can hold a handstand for a minute. So now I was way more focused on the shape variations and the one-arm handstand. But like I said, I didn't do this every single day for 30 days, so I only had a few days left. So I basically really just tried to get that one-arm handstand as good as I can. And honestly, this is the hardest thing I think I've tried to do, is like balance a one-arm handstand. It's just so technical. Your body has to be perfectly aligned. There's like so many factors. If anyone here can already do a one-arm handstand, make sure you let me know in the comments, because I'm really curious to see who can do it, and if you have any tips or advice that you would give somebody trying to learn it. Because although I made this video, my handstand journey is not over. I definitely want to keep working this. All right, so 30 days later, we're gonna look at today's footage that I just filmed, see how it stacks up to the beginning. All right, guys, so it is day 30, the end of the 30-day challenge. It is also the day after Christmas, my birthday. I definitely have not been practicing every single day, so let's just see what we can do. So the time difference, we already know, went from like 27 seconds up to 60. That met my goal. Goal number 2, shape variations. This was like the first time in a while I've been able to just really like effortlessly flow through different shapes with my legs. And I felt so good earlier. Like, it was definitely so much easier for me to balance and do this stuff than it was the first day. Definitely improved this like by a long shot. All right, y'all, time to see if the one-arm handstand made any improvements at all. Here we go. And then one-arm handstand. So not really a ton of improvement, kind of a letdown, I know, but I did hold it for longer than the first time, which is definitely an improvement in itself, but also there's a lot more that I could have done. So like I said, if I'd actually trained every single day, I think I would be at a better standpoint. But one-arm handstand training is so tedious. It is not exciting. It's really difficult to do. So I'm definitely proud of the progress that I made. And if you just look at my form, not even the time, but you just look at the form, I seem to be way more comfortable going into it. I'm not jumping into it as much. I seem a little bit more controlled, a little more steady. My legs and the tilt seem like it's a little bit more controlled and coordinated this time, and that is definitely a result of just me practicing it both freestanding and against the wall. So there you have it, guys. I met most of my goals. I didn't actually hold the one-arm handstand for 5 seconds like I wanted, but kind of unrealistic expectation for somebody who only trained like 14 days anyway. So I'm really excited to put this video out though. I thought it was a great challenge. I really encourage all of you who are interested in handstand training, go watch my previous video if you want like a breakdown about how I just initially increased it, because that was basically like me learning how to do a handstand more efficiently was that first video. This is just me learning how to like do handstand variations and things like that once you can already do it. So I definitely encourage you guys to go check it out, try it for yourself if you want to. I think it's a really fun thing to try. Handstands are cool, they look cool, everybody likes them. But if you guys like the video, make sure you give it a like. This was definitely a lot of work, not 30 days worth like I intended, but definitely a lot of work. So I really appreciate if you like the video, subscribe if you're new, because I've got a lot of good stuff planned for the rest of this year, and 2022 is gonna be huge. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, I hope you have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.